Guys, what's up? It's Steve the Wolf here, and welcome to a brand new video. If you may be wondering what the topic of this video is going to be today, today's video's topic is going to be about furry art, my overall thoughts about it, and the pros and cons of the furry art world. Hopefully you enjoy, and let's get into into today's video. My overall opinion of furry art is generally positive. It's some of the most creative, cute, and adorable pieces of art, as well as handsome. Too many words I could describe with, piece of art you'll ever see in your lifetime, really. Furry art is some of the best art I've ever seen. Obviously not museum quality, that's obviously for stuff that's really groundbreaking. But furry art, for a general purpose of, well, being for furries, is really good. I really can't say just how good furry art is. I mean, I have it. I mean, I'm sure you have seen it if you follow me on Twitter or not Facebook, Twitter or Discord or Telegram. I'm more than sure you've seen it. Um, a lot of my other friends are artists, and some of them have done me some art for me. And the furry art world is a great place where you can meet some amazing people. So I'll make the point right now that the furry art world is sometimes, only sometimes, a little better than the general art world. But then again, what do I know? I'm an uncultured swine. Anyway, let's just get into the pros and cons of furry art. So, the pros of furry art. Well, generally, furry art is one, cheaper than your general art that you'd find in I don't know, a gallery or somewhere where you could buy art, I don't know, on Twitter or Facebook. Um, Furry art is generally cheaper than your average art or average normie art that you find anywhere else. Another point I want to come on to is furry art is some of the cutest art you'll ever see, definitely. It's very cute, it has a lot of character, has a lot of characteristics about it, it's very punchy, and some of it is really well drawn by some pretty underrated artists. And I'm saying that myself. I will say that myself, that I know some pretty underrated artists that you should definitely consider checking out. One or two of them, well, two of them that I know personally have a YouTube channel too. So say even check them out there. First one I want to mention is Reddy Fox. Somebody I know through pretty much most platforms I ever use. Um, she's a really good friend of mine. Has done me a good piece of free art, which I say once I get a job, I do hopefully plan to repay Ready for, even though they were a freebie. It's nice to pay them back for their hard work. But yeah, Ready and I, we go quite a fair way back. I think the first instances we started talking was early 2017, around about maybe January, February area, and I was talking to her about getting some art done for Valentine's Day, because of me and my ex-girlfriend. I didn't have any money, so talked about that, and it basically said I couldn't afford it, and it was like, no real problem. Basically, just, oh, maybe save up, and when you can pay me, all that. And I was like, that was really good. It was genuinely really good to be able to talk to an artist and, say, oh, I can't afford it, and not be a dick to you. I'm not saying all artists are like that, but I know I've been in a few situations where it's really gone downhill because somebody couldn't afford the art and stuff like that. You see that a lot on Twitter. Um, yeah. Reddit was really nice, really courteous about, me not having enough money to buy any furry art. So I was just like, couldn't afford it. Me and Reddit got talking after that and stuff like that, and one thing led to another. And we've really, blossomed and grown as friends. And I'm really happy for that, because Reddy is an awesome friend of mine. As a great YouTuber herself. She's really underrated. I definitely think you should check her out I think she has, yeah, I think she most likely has Furry Affinity page, a YouTube channel, and even on Twitter. Like, I definitely think you should check all those out. Another friend I want to move on to is Dragora Wayfunder, a Texan furry there now. She's amazing. She's also done me some freebie art, which I plan to pay her back for too, whenever I can, scrape up the money, because, well, I haven't got a job yet. I hope to get a job soon. But yeah, I hope to pay both Reddy and Dragora back for their wonderful work, because truly, it was amazing. They put such hard work into such pieces of art that I can't begin to describe how good they are. But anyways, I'm getting quite sidetracked. Back on the point. Another pro of furry art is it's more accessible in a way. You see, like, you can find furry art almost anywhere. FA, Google, I don't know, fucking anywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Discord, Telegram, for Affinity, E621. Furry art is pretty much, I won't say the norm, but it's definitely blossoming in many areas. So yeah, those were my thoughts on, my pros, or at least what I think is a good thing about furry art. Now, sadly, good things can never go without bad things. So, let us move on to the cons. So, the cons of the furry art world. There's a few. One pretty major one. I think it's better to get the major one out the way now. Right, this major one that this fandom pretty much still struggles to quite a degree today is art theft. Certain furries who haven't got a character or somebody to, be their, well, original character, or OC, as they call it. You get these people who basically will search around, I don't know, Google, FA, DeviantArt, stuff like that. They'll look around. It's like, I don't have enough, basically, I know, to get in the mindset of them, it's like, oh, I don't have enough money to pay for this really good art that somebody puts bloody blood, sweat and tears into, and hours of work and hours of line art and stuff like that, and the shading. Oh, I'm just gonna nab that, copy paste, put that as my profile picture, and apparently I'm just that character. It doesn't work that way. Never. It doesn't work that way in the furry art world. You can't just go and nab somebody's profile picture or somebody's art that an artist did for that person and just go, hey, that's mine. It's not the fucking Viking era. It's not how things work. You don't just pillage somebody's fucking hard work. There's also problems with, like, people who just, as I said, blatantly steal or tracing. Now, as many furry YouTubers will tell you, I'll tell you now, tracing wouldn't be bad if you're using it to practice and you don't publish it in any way. Sorry about that. Tracing wouldn't be so bad if you just used it, as a form of practice, and you don't show anyone, you just use that to practice. That's fine. But when you blatantly publish on social media, stuff like Twitter and stuff like that, that an art that you've blatantly traced over, and then the lines the other, I don't know, in a different way or colored it differently, that doesn't make it yours. That all that really makes it is that, oh, you've taken in, kind of defiled it. It shouldn't be like that. Basically, in many ways, you're stealing. Art theft is just not right. Not in the furry world, not in the furry art world, not in the normal art world. You shouldn't steal art. It's not right. Anyways, that's that one done. Another negative to the furry art world is, sadly, people like me. Poor people who can't afford furry art. And the reason I kind of say it's a bad thing, it's a bit neutral, but the way it can be a bad thing is how I see some furries who obviously can't afford it, and or because they can't afford the art, they start fucking taking the piss out of the artist or saying, oh, it's not a proper job and all this fucking shit and just yammering on the artist. It's not up to you how much the art is. The artist sets the prices and the prices are fair depending on the quality of what you're getting. You're not the one who decides. All you're doing is asking if the artist you can commission the artist to do a certain piece of work. It doesn't make you their boss. They are their own boss. So leave the artist alone. Or because you cannot afford it, does not make you God. You're not a person who can boss them around. They are their own boss, as I just said. They can do with what they want with the prices. They can set the prices to what they feel is fair or what they feel is, a decent price, value for money. So don't badger artists all because you're poor. I only got freebies because, these artists wanted to do it either because, they knew I was a YouTuber and they thought it'd help me out, and I very much appreciated that. I actually got some fan art for one or two people. And, getting a freebie isn't the same as begging for free art. I didn't even ask for this art. They, opted to give it to me. And I, accepted it because, it's polite. But badgering artists is not the way to go about it. What will be the last con? I think what would be the last con maybe would be, well, furries just taking art and, mocking it. I've seen this a few times. Or people just mocking somebody else's art. Like, artists who are higher up in the, I guess you could call it stepladder of the art world. And all because they're higher up, they think they can just basically talk all this shit down to somebody who's, I don't know, down here. I don't like artists like that. Don't be a dickhead. Don't be mean to other artists who are probably just starting out. That's not the way you should be as a, highly respected artist. If you're the highly respected artist, you should be trying to nurture these other artists' abilities and try to hone them and help them to, create a great piece of art or help them develop their art into something brilliant. I'm not saying I've seen this in many instances, but I've seen a fair few times of artists just talking shit to another artist or publicly posting another artist's work and then just talking shit about it. That's not the way to go, man. You shouldn't ever do that. All because somebody's art isn't as good as yours doesn't give you the right to critique it in that sense. You should critique it constructively, but don't completely rip into it and just say, oh, look at this art, it's really fucking shit, oh, they can't draw it, stay alive. Don't be like that. Don't ever be like that. What you should do is try to say where they're doing good and where they're doing bad and how they can improve on that. Don't shit on other artists. This fandom is supposed to be an accepting and helping community. Not one where people just use childish playground tactics of shitting on each other just to get the upper hand. You don't do that shit. Anyways, that's the end of my ramble. Hopefully none of these things happen to any of you who may be a furry like me. And this has been a informative video about the furry art world. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you have a very lovely day. And Divas out.